In the world of manufacturing, the way business gets done is, well, it's totally changing. It's not just about having a website anymore. Nope. The real revolution is about building a digital powerhouse from the ground up. And today, we're going to break down a 90-day plan to do just that.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. Your biggest, most important customer, placing a complicated order with all their special pricing, and not a single email has to be sent. No back and forth, no chasing down details, just a clean, perfect order. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi future. It's the new standard, and it perfectly frames the challenge we're diving into.
Okay, so to really get where we're headed, we've got to take a quick look back at where we've been. For decades, B2B sales and manufacturing have been stuck in a process that is, to put it mildly, just full of friction.
I want you to think about your own day-to-day. How much of your time gets eaten up by those endless email threads, just trying to confirm a simple detail? How many of your customers are squinting at a PDF price sheet from 6 months ago, trying to figure out their cost? It's not just inefficient, right? It's a constant headache for the very people you want to make happy. And this slide right here, it really lays it all out. The old way was built on the shaky foundation of email chains and hunting down tracking numbers. But modern B2B buyers, they live in a world of seamless online experiences, and they bring those expectations to work. They want to do their own research, see their specific pricing instantly, and move from a quote to an order without hitting a single roadblock.
Now, you might be thinking, hey, it's clunky, but it's worked for years. Why rock the boat now? Well, because sticking with that old way has gone from being just an annoyance to a real, honest-to-goodness risk to your business, and the costs are very, very real.
And look, we're not talking about some fuzzy, abstract problems here. These hit your bottom line, hard. Sales cycles drag on because of busy work. You've got your best people, your A-team, stuck answering the same questions over and over instead of growing the business. And when the data's wrong on a price sheet, you are literally leaving money on the table. All of it leads to frustrated customers who just might start looking for an easier supplier to work with.
One of the biggest, most immediate wins when you modernize is this right here. You dramatically lower your cost to serve. Just imagine all those routine calls and emails. Where's my order? Can I get a copy of my invoice? Imagine them just disappearing into a self-service portal. The burden on your internal teams plummets. I mean, that's the classic work smarter, not harder, right there in action.
Okay, so what's the solution to all this pain? To all this friction? It's a concept we call the digital workbench. And I love this metaphor, because it's not about just slapping up an online store. It's about building a complete, powerful toolkit for your customers and your partners. Think of it like this. It's one central spot online where your customers can do everything. They can research a new product, configure it exactly how they need it, place an order with their own special pricing, and even handle service requests after the fact. The whole shebang, all under one login. Now, building this workbench isn't magic. It's about connecting the right pieces. It all starts with a complete, rich product catalog, not just part numbers, but real data. Then you layer on smart contract logic that handles all that complex pricing automatically. This all feeds into one unified workflow, so a quote never gets lost on its way to becoming an order. And the secret sauce? Tying it all directly to your ERP for real-time stock info, which builds the trust you need for total self-service.
All right, I know what you're probably thinking. A digital workbench. Sounds amazing. Powerful? Maybe a little overwhelming. Where in the world do you even start? The key is to forget about boiling the ocean and instead focus on a practical, totally achievable 90-day plan.
So, in that first month, you're not trying to do everything. You just map out the most important customer path and pick a small, manageable slice of your catalog to launch with. Then, month 2 is all about building that core experience and plugging it into your key systems, like your ERP. And finally, in month 3, you launch, but only to a small group of friendly customers. You listen, you learn from their feedback, and you start making it better. It's an iterative, smart approach.
And how do you know if any of this is actually working? You watch the numbers that really matter. Are you actually making money through this new channel? Is the time it takes to go from a quote to an order getting shorter? Are people using the self-service tools you built? These aren't just vanity metrics. They're cold, hard proof that you're solving the very problems we talked about earlier.
Okay, but even with the best plan in the world, things can go sideways. So let's talk about a few of the common pitfalls, the things you really need to watch out for to make sure your launch is a success.
This is all about preparation. You know that one ridiculously complex spreadsheet that holds all your pricing logic? Yeah, that has to come out of the dark and be built into the system. And your product catalog? If it doesn't have rich data, buyers simply won't have the confidence to click buy. And this is the big one. You can build the most incredible system on earth, but if you don't have a real plan to get your own team and your customers to actually use it, it's going to fail.
So, you've done the planning, you've navigated the build, you've dodged the pitfalls. Now what? What's the big payoff at the end of all this? Well, getting this right isn't just an improvement, it's genuinely transformative for a manufacturing business.
This is what it's all about. You see higher sales because you're suddenly so much easier to buy from. You see faster sales cycles because all that manual friction is gone. And you see lower service costs because you've empowered your customers to find their own answers. These are the results you can take straight to the bank.
But honestly, beyond all those great numbers, there's a deeper win here, something even more powerful. When you do this right, your platform stops being just another sales channel and becomes the single source of truth for your business data. Suddenly, everyone, from sales to support to the CEO, is working from the same perfectly accurate playbook. That's a game changer.
At the end of the day, this quote just nails it. The goal is to become the supplier that is, quite simply, the easiest to work with. When things get competitive, being the easiest is a massive, massive advantage.
So, I'll leave you with this to chew on. Think about your own business. What's that one process? Maybe it's quoting or ordering spare parts or handling warranty claims. What's the one thing that's still stuck in that old B2B grind, just waiting for its own digital workbench? Thanks for joining me.